One.
Hey, welcome back. We left off in the last video. This is Chromebook coding for beginners. We left off in the last video with this color picker we were working on. And I was showing you how we use JavaScript to make these sliders. This is what the page looks like when you first come into it. But these sliders control your red, your green, and your blue, and your alpha in a RGBA style color. So I've added a few things since the last video, just real quick this morning. I set it so I put little labels here, RGBA. I put a title, but I didn't center it yet. I centered some of this other stuff with basically wrapping these things in flex boxes. And I made a button that says click to copy. And we made a little thing down here that says alpha channels. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, there's 10 for the different alphas. So 0 to 1. So it's like 0 is white. So who cares about that? So it's 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4. You get the idea. But I made it so when you first come in, the alpha is set all the way up to 1. And you can do that in your HTML back here. Or slider 4. Value 1. You just set your initial value like that. And I'm thinking I don't know what I'm going to do I might set these to a certain value. I'm not sure. But I like it in the middle. It's kind of, you can do whatever you want from there. So anyway, so now we want, let's see, blue. We want pure blue. So I made it so whatever these values that you selected are is going to automatically pop up in this little H1 right here. And it's going to change. See, look, we're changing the green. So the green is changing down here. And then blue. The blue is all the way up. The blue is changing. Now the alpha is changing. And the alpha, you program in a step into a slider. So like that's what determines, like, this is a step of 1 on these 3 sliders. So every little click, you can use your arrows on your keyboard. Every click of your arrow is 1. But down here, every click of your arrow is a 0.1. And then it automatically like makes it so the little thumb slider thing moves to the right spot. That's pretty cool. Like it's all built into like HTML. It's pretty cool. And then our alphas go from 0.1 to 1. And then I even made a bend palette. It's experimental right now. It's what the bend palette is I think I have to edit that. It's a little screwed up right now. I was working on that. It's like kind of complementary colors. Where's my bend palette? Okay, yeah. So this to be actually green. Blue. And then this one red. All right. So now the bend palette should be like complementary colors, sort of. I don't even know if they're complementary or not, but I just rearranged the order of these 3 things. This is the original, and then these are just rearrangements of, 143, 221, 238 would be 221, 238, 143 instead, and that's what you get. And you can see it's kind of like they kind of go together in like a color scheme sort of way. I don't know enough about color theory. That's a whole nother crazy thing you could be like a doctor of if you want it to be, but it's really complex. But that's another story. We're just talking JavaScript here. So here's the basics of it. We put event listeners on our sliders because we went and got the slider and named it a variable red, slider 1. So we said red dot add event listener input, and we attached the function, and all within this big function. Then I showed you last time how it's gonna put the box, the style, that background of those values that we picked. But then when I added the alphas, all I did was put in our red, our green, our blue, and instead of using the actual input from our alpha, I just put it in myself. It gets a little gnarly when you try to like, okay, quote RGBA, you got to leave that in quotes, then you got to concatenate your red value plus a comma. That part gets a little bit wackadoo, but I figured it all out. And so then 0.1, 0.9, 0.8. So I just define those myself and let the sliders define the 3. So that just means no matter what color you pick, or no matter what alpha you have set, you're getting your alphas based off of as if you're getting your alphas based off of an RGB color like this, independent of what you set your alpha to be up here. That way you just see your original color, full on opacity, all its shades. And then like down here, I don't know what I'm going to do. I can add some other styles of palettes, but I'm learning how to, it's very complicated for me to figure out. Like if someone watches this that has some better understanding about color values and stuff, like what would I do? Like I've tried messing around, like I've switched these around. I tried messing around like dividing by 2 to make it darker. How would I, you know what I mean? If I wanted to make a palette of like this, say this is my original color up here, but I wanted a palette of, I think they call it like monochromatic or something, like similar colors to this, just like shades lighter, shades darker. What would I do? See, we're not talking opacity, we're not talking alpha, we're talking just darker. Like, what would I do to these numbers to output just a darker version of this color? Like I know if you just kind of notch everything down, maybe that's what I do. Maybe I just notch everything down a little bit. So I'm not exactly sure, like, or multiply by something. I'm not exactly sure how to do that yet. But for our basic thing that we got going on right now, I mean, this is all just straight up regular old plain Jane JavaScript. Oh, and this is a cool part, the copy. I forgot to show the copy. So when you click this, you've got your color here. You click this, and then it pops up a prompt. And I just wrote copy to clipboard, Control C plus enter. So it's already highlighted, so you don't have to do anything with it. You just hit Control C on your keyboard and then hit enter, and it gets rid of it right there. And then I'll just show you real quick up here. Not that you'd ever do this, but well, no, I'll show you over here. This is what you would do. You'd go into your CSS and you wanted to set the background color of something. So then, boom, and then boom, Control V, and now that's the color that you picked on my color picker. So I make you manually. I didn't want to get into, like, I know there's a way to, when you click something, to make it copy to someone's clipboard, but I didn't really want to get too crazy, and I don't really understand that. So here on our button, we just put it on click equals copy to clipboard and document.getMID text inner HTML, and text is here. So whatever is the inner HTML of that, which when you activate it ends up being this right here, gets copied. And then you go into your JavaScript boom.